We got one of the best centers in the National Football League, Connor McGovern. He had probably one of the best scoop steps I've ever seen that we're going to go over against the Panthers. I am so excited to have you in here. Connor McGovern, you want to take a moment to introduce yourself for the audience?
Yep, my name's Connor. I play center for the Buffalo Bills, and I'm very excited to talk some football today with you.
Let's get into it. So the first play we're going to go over is week 1 against the Ravens. One hell of a game that was. But first question, you're pointing out number 32 here, the linebacker. Now, as this ball gets snapped, David Edwards is going to pull the opposite side. So, like, if this guy blitzes, you gotta know that he's coming because David Edwards is pulling away. Now, he ultimately does blitz. I want to know how you knew he was going to blitz, especially in week 1 when you don't have all that film study to go over.
Yeah, so the first thing, this is play action. So the first thing we do when we come up to the line is we're looking at the placement of the nose. If he's tight on me, that means Dave's going to pull. If he's a 3, that means I'm going to pull. Whoever has the best leverage. And then, so after that, so me and Dion have the 2 widest threats. So 53 Vanoy's out there. No, nothing's coming out past that. So 32 is now the next logical guy outside. So my eyes are locked on that. And I know to my backside, Spencer and Cybo are both have the next 2 after that. So I know if anything hits that backside B gap, that's mine. Dion might give me a little hand presence if it comes outside, but I know that gap is mine, and I know I'm protected inside with Cybo, so I give a little hand to him. But as you can see, 32 is starting to walk up before the snap, so my eyes are locked on him all the way. So as soon as he triggers, I know I could go because Cybo sees it too, and he's coming right down to 98.
So even if he didn't blitz, like if he just dropped off, you're still sliding there, and Osiris is sliding there still.
Yeah, so say 32 doesn't come, I'm going to hang a little bit on 98 just to give some presence, but my eyes are to Dion right now because we have the 2 widest. So say for some reason the corner did come, Dion knows I'm right in his hip pocket right now. So I'm just giving presence that knows my eyes are outside all day.
Interesting. So you change who pulls on this play based off of the alignment of the defensive tackle?
Yes, so it's all based on leverage, who has the best path to get there.
That's awesome.
You'll see, and later on in some games, it might not be it just really depends. Hey, this is a fast nose, Dave. You have to pull because if I try going, he's just going to beat you underneath, or Cybo can't get back in time. So it really depends on the week because we know Jones here is a big, strong nose, but he doesn't have that big, quick burst up the field. So even if he is a little bit wider, Dave could still pull because that gives Cybo time to get down.
So what do you do here? Let's say if you had seen on film that they love to blitz, like Marlon Humphrey, for example, and even though, in this case, he's the man defender, what would you guys plan if he were to come on a blitz here? Is there something that changes?
Yeah, so when you're pulling, most of the time you're looking at the most immediate threat. So if, say, 99-08 goes inside, the tight end's going to stay with them most likely, and then you take the widest, and if he could release, he gets out, but if not, he has to stay on. So you're just trying to just take the most immediate threat when you're pulling right there. And to give Josh enough time, because if you give him enough time, he can make magic happen.
Absolutely. All right, on to play number 2. That was an awesome explanation. So this one is an interesting play because it's like a bubble blitz. And
this play was, I still talk, this was incredible, their play call, how fast Kyle Hamilton hits us. It's incredible.
Yeah, you were pointing out Kyle Hamilton pre-snap. Yeah. It looked like. Did you know he was coming here?
No, it was just the way it was lined up. Knew someone was probably coming, so as you play it out, they end up bringing more, and Kyle hits it so fast that I was like, oh, I still have time to pass this nose off to Dave, and you see me react at the end. I'm like, I had to get there so fast.
Yeah, let's look at it.
You see Cybo,
he came in so quick, and so my question is. Well, first question. Right here, you see David. He's communicating. You give the thumbs up right here. What's the communication that's going on right there?
So Dave's talking. So Zero's over top of him. He's like, hey, threat. Should I jump this? Not. But I'm telling him to keep the slide to go to the right. Josh's original call. Josh checks in with me. So he has the final say out of everything. So he's continuing to keep the 4-man slide going to the right. I give him a thumbs up hey, we're all on the same page, and we're good to go.
Okay, that makes sense. So then what's kind of like a main offensive line structure understanding to me is why when these 2 guys drop off, does Dion stay over there? He stays over there. Like, just logically to me, I know you never really see it in the NFL, and there's probably a reason for that I'm not understanding. But, like, to me, it makes most sense that David sticks here, you stick here, Osiris sticks here, Spencer Brown sticks here, and then Deion Dawkins, like, basically just, like, comes over here and then, like, personal protects. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an interesting idea. I'm just kind of understanding why that doesn't take place.
Yeah, it's hard, just the speed of the game.
Yeah.
Like here, like you see how fast Deion's head snaps back in to come look for work.
Yeah.
Like you could try to plug in come and plug in the gap. It just doesn't always work. Dave's actually very good at that. So if he sees something going on the other side, like he'll plug and play, but it's not the easiest thing to do. So we are always just trained as just like fly back inside, try to knock your next guy off. So this way Deion's knocking Dave off, then Dave's trying to knock me off.
Yeah, so
Here, Kyle Hampton is just a freak athlete. Yeah, Kyle Hampton's just a freak athlete that hits it so fast that we can't get off fast enough.
I mean, you still had to block him here. Like, you can't come off yet, and by the time you're able to come off, he's already home. So
exactly, and then Josh sees that he's like, oh shit, we don't have enough guys here. He's home, and so he gets it off real quick.
He did a great job replacing where Hamilton came from, though. All right.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Josh. He knows where he's hot from, and he makes sure we're all on the same page, and he gets that ball out quick.
He understands blocking assignments well. You can tell how he communicates. Play number 3. I want you to give me kind of like a film watcher style technique breakdown on this play, because you're left one-on-one against a big nose tackle, and you just gotta survive in there. And I thought you did a great job. You hold him for about 3 seconds. Josh is able to get ball off. Run me through this play and kind of the technique that you use.
Yeah, so I know one-on-one, I think Travis Jones is one of the most underrated nose guards in this game. He's so strong. So here, I'm thinking I don't want to get overset him, so I'm kind of getting back with my first step a little bit, and I'm trying to get my left hand quick as I can on there because that's my weapon. Like, so I'm trying to get that left hand on him, see what he does with it. Here, I feel all his weight going back inside, so now I got to get back off that, get my right hand involved, and just try to anchor in there because he's so strong that he can just push you back. So just feeling that, and that he's trying to collapse the pocket, and the way he's rushing, you know that Josh is still right behind me, so he just turns into a dogfight for a little bit. Just hold on as long as you can.
What are these steps? Do you practice these at all, or is this just pure athleticism kicking in? It's in the middle of a rep.
Yeah, that's middle of the rep, just trying to recover. We practice it like you have your hands outside, someone's bull rushing you, just to get your arms back in and just sit down as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just trying to do. Like, you see, I get my left hand in, give a right. He goes for just push down the middle. Do I have my hands in place? So I just try to refit and just anchor in.
That's a hell of a rep. That is just pure O-lineman brawl in the middle of the field. Now, for play number 4, this is the last play we'll look at from week 1. This was a huge hitting play. Did you guys know before this play that likely this could hit well? Because, like, James Cook had no man defender on the play, and he's like a quick release, and then he just takes it. I mean, James Cook is awesome. Did you guys have an idea before?
A little bit. That's the one thing, like, luckily we play the Ravens a lot. It's like playing the Chiefs almost. Even though they're not in the division, we play them every single year. So the year before, they hit us on this blitz. So we practiced it a little bit, even though we didn't have any film on them this year because it was the first game. So just getting James Cook in space, that's the perfect recipe right there.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's really.
So then on this play, why do you I mean, you said you knew the blitz, so I'm assuming that's why you slide to Starks. But then you kind of pick up 2 guys here. Yeah,
it was kind of one of those where they sent more than we can, and so we just got to get big and just try to take as much space as you can. Because I know I have Saibo with me, but I'm like, oh, I got to come back for 24, so we just got to mash it all together. Yeah. And Saibo, being a freak, just takes 2 guys, so it helps when you have someone strong like him.
Look at him. He drops back. Look at those arms. Just get both of them.
Just
I love
swallows them up.
I love it. All right, so now we move into the Panthers game, and what I immediately want to talk about from the Panthers game is you guys ran that zone toss 9 times for 93 yards and a touchdown. Hell of a play. What did you guys know going into this week about the zone toss? Did you know it was something you were going to run?
Yeah, so going in this game, they had the number 1 rush defense. And the thing we kept watching on tape is teams are running right at them. And this is a huge front. Like, they were built to stop the run. And we were looking at it like, what if we just try getting to the outside and make these guys move lateral? Like, teams are struggling running down on them, let's just get the ball outside and use our athleticism against them. And that's what we did. And once it started working, we just stopped. We couldn't be stopped.
Joe Brady's going to keep working it if it's working.
Exactly.
So, like, when you climb to the linebacker here, I want to understand what it's like blocking for a guy like James Cook. Because when I played high school center, my strategy was always just like prevent my guy from getting to the ball carrier. Just put myself in between him and the ball carrier. That's hard to do for James Cook because you don't know where he's running. Like right here, you know James Cook, he could either bounce there, he could bounce here, he could bounce here. You don't know where he's going. So how does that impact how you block? Like I notice you get very square here when it seems like you could have easily pushed him there. You could have easily swung the hips around and gotten him back there. How does that change how you block?
Yeah, with an electric running back like James, like you kind of have to feel the defender. So as I'm running, I see the backer take an angle. He's almost slowing down. So I know James is probably somewhere right behind me or just near me. So as he's stopping, I'm like, all right, I could push this by, but his momentum stopping. So like he's going to fight me. So I go for the trap and then just pull him into me to give James a two-way go. So if you see right before I get to him, I trap with the right hand and just try to pull him in.
Oh,
so that
yeah,
way
right here.
James can either go left or right. Yep. And so I could just almost wall him off. And the thing that really sets us all off is Dave Edwards reaching the guy.
Oh, totally.
And then the triple out front. Yeah. This is textbook by Dave.
That's not as impressive as yours though, because you do that block from the center position later in the game.
Yeah, we don't got to talk about it. I'm giving praise to my guy right here. And then look at Jackson Hawes though, just dominating out there. He's supposed to be on a triple with Dion, and Dion barely gives a hand because that's how much he just drives him out there.
Jackson Hawes is one hell of a blocker.
Yes, he's not afraid to throw his head in there either. He just gets after it.
That's awesome. So then you see this next example. Can we just run through the blocking angles here and kind of just see what makes this work so well specifically against the Panthers?
Yeah, the thing is, so it's nice. Now we throw Reggie in the mix. So it's almost a same exact play. Now we throw Reggie into it. So he's now working with the tight ends to work outside. And so now the double team could go back to the mic, and that allows me just to be free one-on-one with the nose. Then Dave and Dion are just building a wall backside. So it's building cutback lanes. Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then you have Hawes climbing here, and then you just seal, and then you said Dave and Dion kind of just make a wall backside.
Yep.
So then what happens is, I'm assuming since you have kind of like a 4-eye here, that makes it easy to climb up to the mic, and then
it's like a shutdown.
And then you just are able to hit right there. Oh, that's beautiful.
Exactly.
Okay. So then look at James. Look at how tight this little gap is. He's so damn skinny. He just is so good.
And the thing, there's no hole there. It's so small, but he's able he's just able to bounce right through.
He's so good. I love watching him. I love watching him so much. I got his jersey. He's one of my favorite players. So then this is your play. I think, I'm going to be honest, I was watching this like an hour ago before we got on. Dude, I think this is the best block of the 2025 NFL season. I mean,
I appreciate that.
You are scooping a 3 technique from the center spot on a zone toss that hits right outside of you. And now you do get a little help. He slants to the inside here. But, I mean, look at how you swing these hips around. What allows you to do that? Like, just walk me through it. That gets me hyped.
So the first thing, I got to give all credit to Joe Brady and Aaron Cromer. So this is on an alert play. So originally we were running zone to the right, but this is the ideal look we had all week. We practiced. If they got into this formation, they were blitzing. So I knew 97 was slanting to me. So like I already had the cheat code ready to go.
Okay.
So I knew to lose a little bit of ground on this play.
Is that why you take a negative step with your first step?
Yep, because I knew he's slanting, so I could get behind it and then just either if he tried penetrating, I could pull it and let James just hit it up the field, or however he could play. I knew if I lost a little bit of ground, I could play off him. So it was just
so good.
It was the perfect out of the play. So like, if you play the clip a little bit longer, you see me point back to Cromer on the sideline.
Well, and I remember Joe Brady, they went to his like little camera in the press box. He was so pumped after this play. He was so pumped. Oh man, this was one of my plays that like I'm just gonna remember forever because look at this block. God damn. I messaged you after this. I was I just cold DM'd because I was like, damn, that's impressive. So One heck of a play.
But it was one of those like we practiced all week for this certain look. Like, all right, this is the kill criteria, and it lined up perfectly. And of course, it spits out for a touchdown, and everyone was so
Why do you
pumped
think
for
the
that.
Panthers lined up in that looks just so perfectly so late in the game? This was like the 8th or ninth time you've
Third
run it.
quarter. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they were just trying to do anything they could to stop us running the ball.
Makes sense. Man, you guys were lights out that game. That was a blowout win. I enjoyed watching that. So then now we get into a tush push. And first things first, how much do you hate these? Are these painful for you? Are these just brutal?
When you ask Dave, we're gonna have the same response. It's terrible. So we're always at the bottom of the pile the way we run it. So it's almost like a duo for us. So like you see me and Dave come together, and then Dion's blocking down as the right side, Saibo and Spencer are also blocking down. So it almost like a duo. So we're not really one-on-one blocking. So it's almost like a flying V into it. And me and Dave are just the head of the spear, just getting thrown to the ground. Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So then I'd always noticed that Jason Kelsey, when he was with the Eagles, he would put his hand in the dirt, like his left hand, and snap the ball.
Like a 4-point stance. Yep.
Yeah, so I always noticed like he would get those shoulder pads like super dipped down, try and get up underneath. I always struggled like on goal line because you don't have the weight on the front hand because you still got to snap. Have you ever thought about putting the hand in the dirt on those?
I've tried it before. Luckily, I'm a large center. I'm 6'6", 330, so that helps me a lot.
Yeah.
But we tried the forehand stance, and just the snap's not good enough, and this is a time you don't want to mess with the snap.
Yeah.
So the way we run it, luckily, Josh is really good at just finding the hole, so I know if I just go forward and I have Dave with me, that we can make that just little crease, and that's enough to start that push going, and Josh is going to find that crease somewhere.
That makes sense because I always was wondering if that was the little like secret to the tush push was the hand in the dirt. But then I saw like you guys were doing it and then it was still working. I was like, all right, that's not it. But
yeah, we saw their style and we just tweaked it because Kelsey was so good at getting low because he was already 6'2", so he was able to get underneath and he was so lower body strong that just keep going. But we have the size up front, so we were just worked it to our own magic.
That makes sense. All right, now we get into Week 15 against the Patriots. This was a huge comeback win. Before we get into the film from this game, you guys allowed 2 sacks and just like more pressures than usual throughout the first half. And then in the second half, it seemed like you guys really locked in up front. What were some changes that you guys made in halftime or just throughout the game that helped lead to this comeback?
Yeah, so the first half, the score got away from us, and we kind of stopped playing how we like to play. We started throwing the ball more. We were just making dumb errors. So in halftime, we were just sat down and like, hey, what really worked for this half? And we're like, just get back to running the ball. Like, that was working, even though we didn't have the score to show for it. So we're like, all right, let's just slow it down. Hey, doesn't matter what the score is. We're just going to treat it like it's 0-0 in the second half. And we just went out and just started running the ball, and then that took care of it. We started eating the clock. We started scoring more. That opened up the play action. Then that opened up the passing game. So we literally just went back. We just said, fuck it, let's just play.
Just
and that's how we did it in the second half. Exactly.
So were you guys really calm kind of in the locker room when you guys were down? Because I always notice that it seems like the most calm teams in those situations are the ones that actually come back.
Yeah, I'll say, like, offensively, especially with Joe Brady, like, he comes in and he goes, hey, what do we like? This is what we're doing. This is what's not working. What do you guys like? And so we talk it out, and there's no yelling, nothing like that. Everyone's just calm, cool, collected. And we just talk about, like, hey, like, we like these plays. This is working. This isn't working. And no one gets offended by each other, and we just literally just talk it out.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Man, Joe Brady is the GOAT. So then now we get back into some film. And first off, I see David and Osiris, they're communicating right here.
Yep.
What's being said there? I always see the Bills doing like a head tap.
Yeah, so the head tap just telling you like, hey, I'm locked on this guy, like I'm joining the slide, or the guy over me is mine. Just to let the backs or Josh know like where they're going. And the thing about both of them, they do a great job, like, especially Dave, on the road, like for our like head bob snap cadence, I get yelled at by the refs all the time, like, so like I can't communicate as much as like turn because I get called for flags. I got called a couple times this year. So they do a great job of over communicating for me because once I'm in position, like the refs only let me go up and down. If I go side to side, they throw a flag on me. So especially on the road game, those two take over like what we're all talking about. They're pointing out over pointings to make sure Josh on the same page, and the communication is on point.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I rarely ever see the guards have that level of a command. Is this the only system that you've seen guards have that much command or ability to influence the blocking in it?
No, I've been on part of teams where guards do that, but like to this level, it truly speaks to what kind of players they are too. That we all trust each other, and that's the thing. We've all played so much football together that everyone respects everyone. So like if I know if Dave, Cybo, Spencer, Dion makes a call, like trust it, like they're pointing stuff out too, and Josh trusts us all too. So that makes things so much easier.
It's very visible on film. You guys are always on the same page. You're always doing the assignments and you always know exactly what the other person's doing. It's awesome to watch. So then on this play, I just want to know, kind of like in hindsight, what would you have done differently here to try and properly pick up this blitz? You would have had one guy free regardless, but you get a 3-on-2 here and another guy comes free. What would you have done differently here?
Yeah, we would have loved to, in hindsight, slide the protection the other way to kind of get the numbers are going away. So the first time we played them, they ran a similar blitz, so that's what we thought was coming. So we slid 4-man to the left. They did a great job of disguising it, and so like you see me trying to react. Like I didn't know 91 was dropping all the way across, so I'm like, all right, I have time with Dave, and all of a sudden there's two coming from the right, and Cybo's kind of in no man's land. Like, which one do I take? I have three guys now in front of me. So it just kind of, they had the right play dialed up. So in hindsight, we'd love to go to the right, but here, when you specifically how we called it, I wish I would have snapped it off and came back to maybe try to get Cybo off, and we could put our arms up and slow down the third rusher.
That makes total sense. If you're in a, like you said, if you're in a slide left here, that's a perfect blitz. There's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, and they did a great job just disguising what they showed the last time we played them. And that's a good thing. That I should say it's a good thing, but that's the hard part about playing New England. They're always in the right spot, always had the right play called up, so it's always challenging against their defense.
Their defense is very sound?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So then now we go back to kind of blocking for James Cook. I just want to get the idea because on this play I noticed like you sealed this side. James Cook is obviously getting the give to the left, but I mean it would be such a James Cook cut for him to like go here. How do you react if, for example, he starts flowing this way? You try not to get a hold and like hold on, but how do you react then?
So first off, this is just duo play right here. So 48 walks up, so I kind of made him like a nose guard because at first the way it's playing out, Dave and Dion are working up to 48, but as soon as he comes down, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to get in front of this right now and just try to seal it off because James is going to hit backside. So if he played over to the right and James is going that way, I'll just try to rip my right hand out of there and push with my left hand, my inside hand, and just drive it out to try to prevent the hold. But he knows if James knows because he sits in our meetings, if he's going to no man's land out there, like all bets are off. Like we're trying not to get a hold in that case. So he's really good at reading our blocks. So luckily he doesn't really put us in those positions.
Yeah.
But if he did play over to the right, I'll try ripping that right hand and push it with that back hand, my left hand in this case, the backhand.
So you would try and push kind of like in that direction?
Yes, because if he's playing over the top, just to make as much room as I can.
Oh, understood. So then it would kind of get you narrower sideways, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now allow Dion and Dave to still continue on their track.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, man, that's smart. That's just awareness of everything going on. So now I want to understand the strategy behind these offensive line assignments because for me it would make most sense just like here, and then have James Cook take the off-ball guy. That's my idea. But then it seems like you just slide here, David Edwards takes the off-ball guy, and then James Cook takes the on-ball guy. Why do you want James Cook on the on-ball guy?
It really depends on the week. They showed the game before this, the last time we played them, like they are vice versa, like they were dropping the on-ball guy. So Josh had a feeling something was coming from the right, so he dictated and we slid us to the right, and we weren't right this time, but we still got the play, like we still got the blocking assignment done. But in hindsight, you would like to do it how you're talking about, but that's just the way we saw it. They were dropping the game before, so that's how we're
That makes
practicing all
total
week.
sense. No, that's great reasoning. That's great reasoning. That's the stuff that like the people outside the building don't understand, but then like they see it live and they're like, why would they not have James Cook
Yeah,
take the off ball?
it's
guy?
always easy in hindsight, like looking at like, oh,
Yeah.
we should have done this, should have done that, but
Totally.
that's how we were calling it, and that's the way you got to roll with it.
All right, then here you identified this blitz, right? I mean, you're turning around, you're pointing right at Foye Oluokun. You knew this blitz was coming, right? I mean, he ends up coming.
Yeah, that was just one thing they showed on film. It was when 23 is walking around inside the A gaps, like he's coming. So we knew no matter what the protection, if he was inside the A gaps, hey, like I'm pointing him, I got him man on man, and that's what they did.
They did that every time. Like they did that really often on film. Just him kind of moving around in between.
They didn't do it too often, but we got some good scouts that are able to pick up on things like that.
Man, that's incredible. Can you walk me through the pre-snap communication here on like you're calling out Foye Oluokun? I mean, that's not really the A gap this time, but you see Josh communicating. It looks like he's pointing at him. He brings in an additional blocker. What's all that communication that's going on, and what are the assignments that are changing?
Yeah, so first up, we get our play, come to the line, and this time we're just trying to see the defense, so we give a dummy snap, and so it looks like they have all these rushed up, so we're going to max protection, and that's what Josh has come up to tell us. So he's identifying who the 5 of us have, so making 23 in the mic so Dave knows, all right, we got him. So he's bringing Dawson in for next defender, then keeping Ray Davis in there as like the sure up the pocket type protection.
So would it look like this?
Yeah. So there's 3. So it'd be almost if you go from another. So you see there's 3 guys on the right. So we're 3 for 3. Dave stays on 23. Then Dion takes the edge threat, and then Dawson will play off that.
Like that?
Yes.
And then is it like this?
A little bit. So it's 98 over my right side. So I have 98.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you have 98. Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's like that.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yep.
So that makes sense. And then do you know on the back end, do you know if Josh saw something with coverage? Because it seems like this was a perfect route to attack this kind of off-man coverage.
Yeah, so you see him come up to the line first. Like, so he identifying where, all right, he's going to be potentially hot from, who's coming. So he's giving signals to the wide receivers what he wants them to change the route to, and that's what he's doing there to the shavers.
Okay. Wow. There's just so much shit going on pre-snap. There's so much communication. Now, it does get a little bit easier, though, because you don't have to worry about everything that's being said by Josh, right?
No, like most of the time when he's talking, that's to us, and like he has signals for wide receivers and skilled positions, so it's easy to differentiate between that.
Understood. So then here, I want to understand why the offensive line half slides to the right. So you slide right, and then obviously the right guard, right tackle slide right. But you have James Cook already aligned on that side. Normally you see it go the opposite direction. Why do you half slide right there? It ended up working out because they blitzed to that side. I'm assuming maybe you saw something like that?
No, this just happened to be one of those where we had a miscommunication that ended up working in our favor. So we were technically sliding to 0, and James Cook was going to take anything off the edge. And it was just the way it worked out. Like, they hit it perfectly that Spencer didn't see it. Like, so if you see how close these 2 guys come inside, like, he never sees 0. So he's like, oh, I could keep sliding here. And James Cook's like, I'm supposed to be outside. So it was kind of just a misread that ended up still working somehow for us.
Understood. Yeah, that definitely worked out well.
Because me and Cybo can feel that and see that, but Spencer can't see through 2 people at the same time. So like you see us, like we're trying to pick up the
right
3 guys.
Here, you can't see Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, and Devin Lloyd did a great job just sneaking through there, so you couldn't see it. And me and Cybo are trying to block the 3 while I'm getting rushed right down the middle. He is too, and then hold off a 3rd guy. So it didn't look pretty, but got the ball off.
Got ball off. That's all that matters. All right. Now we got to what I think is probably your hardest blocking assignment or your hardest pass blocking, not counting that scoop step against the 3-tech. But this time you pull around, and that's because you have the 3-tech this time, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so then you pull around, and just walk me through, is that how much harder is this block? How do you do it differently than just standard pass pro?
So this is like the hardest variation of this play we could get because, one, if you see – we have a 3-tech backside, so Cybo is now looking through to 23 because he knows, all right, Dave can't help me if something hits inside. So he has to go right now, but I'm under center, so I got to go straight back. But Josh is now underneath me, so like there's a timing issue that so it's like you got to drop step, not go back on the first step because you can't step right on his foot, and then Saibo's got to get up and through the line, and then now Spencer's got to come down, and we know how Jacksonville's DNs play. They rush straight up the field, they put their head down, so it's just one of those you just got to get ready for bully ball as soon as you snap the ball.
That is a hard play, man. That
Yeah.
is a really hard play, especially against like Trayvon Walker. He's an athletic freak, and he's
Yes.
just going to be so fast. Now, you give up a decent amount of depth here. Is there something you would have liked to have executed differently in terms of like something you can actually control, not just like getting beat, but like technique and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and this play, I would have liked to get just a little bit deeper right away to kind of get to my spot and shore up my anchor. Because here I kind of hit him on the run, so I don't really have that lower half strength behind me. So
Yeah.
he's able to just kind of bend the
He gets
corner a
up
little
under.
bit. Yeah, but here, like, Josh doesn't really have anywhere else to go. So, like, you just got to hold on for one of these. And luckily he gets it off because
Yeah.
they had a great pressure for this specific play. This is the hardest look you could get for this play.
Yeah. That was a great play from Jacksonville, but you guys were able to hold on. So then this was your touchdown to, I believe, Kincaid, and
Oh, this was an incredible play.
this was a perfect play design. Did you guys know going into that this was a potential play? I know it was in the second half, so maybe a halftime thing, but I mean, it perfectly attacked cover 3. Did you guys know that that was something that was possible to come?
Yeah, like we knew we had this play up all game long, but it was just happened to call at the right time. They gave us the right coverage, and like the part I like is how much everyone bit on the fake to Khalil here because
Yeah.
like look at he goes through the full motion and everyone bit, and that timing allowed the safety just to bite down enough, and Dalton's wide open.
Beautiful play. Are there any blocking differences up front when you have a tag like a fake screen? Maybe not necessarily this play, but when you have a fake screen thrown in there, like does Dion maybe peel off a little more aggressively or something to sell it?
Not particularly because we're just normal pass pro here, and it's kind of just a fake bubble, just quick thing out the side, just to kind of get someone to bite down, which they do here. But for up front, it's just normal pass blocking for us.
Okay. Understood. Well, that's all of our clips. I appreciate you a ton for coming on and breaking down some film with me. This is
course.
awesome. It was great to have a center since I was one as well. But I just really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for taking the
No.
time to do this.
Thank you for having me. I love talking ball, and just you have a great eye for catching little things. And like, not many people saw that whole clip from Carolina, but you were the first person that saw it. DM me right away, and I was impressed that you were able to catch that.
I mean, I know how difficult that block is. That was a hell of a block.